the ruined letter. But Rose and Lily, her oldest sisters, had been teaching her tact with great determination, and so she shook her head. "Not at all," she replied. "I've made a muddle of this letter without any help." Lady Margaret came all the way into the room. She took the pen and ink from Poppy and set it on the writing desk without comment. Poppy felt a pang. She should sit at the desk to compose her letters, but it was so hard to break the habit of lounging while she wrote. Lady Margaret turned the elegant little desk chair to face the bed and sat down. "Marianne tells me that you don't wish to attend the Thwaites' ball," she said, her voice beautifully modulated as always. Poppy reflected that it was no wonder she had been shipped off to Breton. Lady Margaret Seadown, Poppy's late mother's cousin, was all that was elegant and refined. Poppy suspected that her father, King Gregor, was hoping for some of Lady Margaret's elegance to rub off on her. Fighting down her feeling of panic at the very mention of a ball, Poppy took command of her own voice and said merely, "I'm sorry, Cousin Margaret, but I don't dance." Lady Margaret's brow furrowed delicately. "But, my dear, the unpleasantness with the dancing slippers—" She let the question trail away. Poppy winced, clenching her fist around the ink-stained handkerchief. Yes, the unpleasantness with the dancing slippers. From the time she could walk until she was 13 years old, Poppy had spent nearly every night dancing. Dancing until her toes bled and her satin slippers were worn to shreds, and her 11 sisters with her. Until Galen, now married to her oldest sister Rose, had rescued them from the curse that had begun with their mother's foolish bargain 19 years before. "I can dance," Poppy clarified, "but I really prefer not to." "Ever again," she added silently. Rose and Galen sometimes danced together, out in the garden, with a little impromptu music courtesy of her sister Violet. But the royal family of Westphalen had neither hosted nor attended a ball in 3 years, though they had banquets and concerts and parties enough to befit their status. "I see," Lady Margaret said. But it was clear that she didn't. No one did. And as fond as Poppy was of her mother's elegant cousin, she could not enlighten her. By the time Galen had helped free her family, the church was investigating Poppy and her sisters on charges of witchcraft, and 9 princes were dead. Their only crime had been trying to solve the mystery, and perhaps win a royal bride. But the king under stone, the horrible creature with whom Poppy's mother had made her bargain, had killed them all. Since then, they had all agreed, King Gregor, the sisters, and Galen, that none of them would speak of the curse or the king under stone again. "But, my dear," Lady Margaret went on, "please consider attending the ball even if you don't dance. The Thwaites are charming, and their social occasions are the height of fashion. There will be wonderful music and food, and so many fine young people for you to meet. And I hate to have you languishing at home alone while we enjoy ourselves." She made a face. "I would stay home with you, but Marianne will be heartbroken if she cannot attend, and I must chaperone her." Poppy had to think about it for a while. A long while. She was not given to fearful turns or attacks of the vapors like some girls, including several of her sisters. But most of her life had been a nightmare of endless sleepless nights, dancing in the arms of the half-mortal son of a half-mortal king. She had no happy memories of balls. But she would not let old fear rule her life, she decided. During the 3 weeks that she had been in Breton, the Seadowns had been invited to no less than 7 balls, and turned them all down because they did not want their guest to feel abandoned. She could not in good conscience ask them to give up another invitation just because she was feeling missish. She was fairly certain that the Thwaites were not evil incarnate, and they would not try to kidnap her. She would go, and she would enjoy herself, even if she could not bring herself to dance. Poppy realized she had been holding her breath, and let it out now in a whoosh. "I'll go," she said to Lady Margaret. "Thank you for understanding if I don't dance, however." "Of course, my dear." Lady Margaret smiled radiantly and patted